Hi, I'm Ildiko Spinfisher. I'm the founder of Life Retuning, a psychological, human energy-based modality which sidesteps the mind. I'm known as the Quantum Wizard. I work with heart-centered entrepreneurs globally to unlock their greatest potential and upgrade their success. I run workshops and courses teaching about energy wisdom. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to share with you on the Be Woke podcast show, and I want to thank you for being here with us today.
Hi everyone, my name is Julie Salant and I am an animal communicator and transformational intuitive coach. My gift is that I am able to see negative energies that are blocking you and remove them with light language and bring in positive energy to bring you back into alignment. I'm also an animal communicator, and I really love talking with Ildiko because she brings the science to what our discussions are, and I'm the intuitive part. Thank you for being here. We're looking forward to having you on all the podcasts. Thanks so much. Welcome back to the Be Woke podcast. I'm here with Ildiko Spinfisher. Hi, Ildiko.
Hi everybody. Hi Julie. It's great to be back on another episode.
Thank you so much for being here. We are thrilled that you are here. We thank you so much for listening. We love to have you. We love all your comments, so please keep your comments and your thoughts coming. We will be doing a Q&A, probably live, an Instagram live or a Facebook live in the near future, so please let us know how we can help you. We are here to help and serve you, and we'd love to know what you need help with, what questions that you have, and tell us what worked and what doesn't work. Today on this podcast, we are talking about the power of proper sleep and how it impacts your life. We realize that all of you now are self-isolating, social distancing. It's been a minute now. These words I never even talked about before, and now all of a sudden they're part of our vocabulary on a regular basis. And we realize that a lot of you are working from home still, as we both have, and that can be challenging, but sleep is very, very important to yourself, to your business, to your spiritual life, to your relationships. So thank you for being here, Ildiko. Let's dive in and talk a little bit about sleep and how it impacts our lives.
Yeah, so this is a very important topic. As Julie said, we have not experienced this before. So we have no rule book. There is no precedent. We have to make it up as we go along, so to speak. And one of the areas that is being impacted is quality of our sleeping. One of the reasons is because there is so much confusion, conflicting news, and fear-based information and news, that it's very hard to let go of that and have a good, peaceful, calm night's sleep with all of this going on. But it is extremely important that you do manage to get good night's sleeps. And in this episode, we want to really unpack the reasons for why it is so super important. And the first reason is that you end up, if you don't get enough sleep, really impacting the rest of your life and creating a low quality of living, because you end up making poor choices. And we want to tell you the reason why, going through why you end up making poor choices. And where do we start first? So the first place we start is you have a bad night's sleep. So what should happen during sleep time is that your body is able to rest and regenerate. If you are not getting the deep REM sleep, then your body doesn't have a chance to do that. So next day, you can end up feeling utterly exhausted because you didn't get the sleep that you needed. And one of the reasons for not sleeping well, if you're waking up at around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, that is because your stress hormone cortisol starts secreting into the blood at that point. The reason that it starts secreting is because it is preparing you for the level of stress it anticipates for the next day. But it's pretty crazy because it wakes you up. So there you are, awake at 3 in the morning. I mean, I've been through this. I'm sure you know what I mean as well, Julie, is that suddenly your eyes pop open and you can't carry on sleeping. It's still dark outside. You look at the clock and go, geez, it's 3 a.m. I need to get more sleep, but you don't feel tired. So what you might do is you might actually just decide you're going to get up. I mean, I've actually found myself cooking at 3 in the morning. I actually ended up making a soup because I couldn't sleep. There was nothing else to do. It was the middle of the night. This is way before lockdown, by the way. This was last year because I went through a period where I had really bad sleep for a couple of weeks. And I couldn't believe I had to actually send a message out on social media to say, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. And what am I doing? What else would I be doing? Cooking soup.
Not sleeping.
Not sleeping. So, you know, the cortisol is a very, very powerful hormone that secretes into your blood and it changes the blood chemistry. Why does it do that? Because you have had a high level of stress the day before. You might have been listening to the news all day. I mean, some people I know are just sitting at the TV listening to the news constantly, bathing themselves in this negativity. The last episode, we were talking about the quality of your thoughts and the fact that because we are over 80% of water, and water is affected, and we were talking about Dr. Masaru Emoto's work with water crystals. What you are doing is you are then bathing your entire system in negative vibrational frequencies of fear, anxiety, frustration, anger, and every other negative emotion that can drag you down. What that does in your physical system is it kicks in your fight-flight response, which is your sympathetic part of your nervous system. It's involuntary. In other words, you can't really control it easily. And so it kicks in when you're stressed, when you're feeling in fear. And there are 3 very powerful hormones that make up the suite, if you like, of the stress hormones. One is adrenaline. Now, adrenaline is, you probably know about adrenaline. It's what kicks in when you are running, for instance. It gives you the ability to actually run. It goes into your muscles and you can do superhuman things. If you're really scared, you can get yourself out of situations that you never thought you could. You know, this is where you hear about women who actually just picked up a car because their child was trapped underneath. Yes. This is the adrenaline, the power of it. The second hormone is cortisol. Now, cortisol, as I say, prepares you for the level of stress your body anticipates you will have the next day because it gets into a pattern and a routine. So it's also responsible for putting on fat around the middle of our body. Yes,
it's horrible, horrible.
It's really very, very detrimental if you get into the cortisol vicious cycle. And the third powerful hormone is aldosterone, which works on raising your blood pressure and make sure that you are absolutely fully engaged in getting yourself out of a fearful situation. These are very basic and primitive responses to stress. Now, in the past, when we were in prehistoric times, if you were faced with a predator, it made sense that these 3 powerful hormones secreted into your blood and you ran away very fast, or you climbed up a tree, or whatever you had to do, or you had to, you know, fight that predator. However, nowadays, we don't have that kind of predator or life-threatening situation very often. What we do have is continuous long-term stress, and our bodies don't know what to do about it. They pump in the stress hormones, but guess what? It doesn't resolve the situation. So when you're listening to the bad news, you're finding out about all the things that are happening around the globe. Your body doesn't stand a chance. And then it tries to put you into sleep state, but it's not able to actually give you the refreshment because you're not going and getting the level of quality of sleep that you need to be. And then it's waking you up at 3 a.m.
Yes.
So you can see how this vicious cycle can become embedded and become the way of life. Now, there are people that just can't sleep properly for years. I mean, I've had clients like that. And I know of people, acquaintances who just can't sleep because they broke out of the healthy sleep cycle and can't get themselves out of the unhealthy sleep cycle. So it's a big problem anyway. However, now with the situation with the pandemic, of course, it just amplifies the whole problem. And so if you don't know what to do about getting good sleep, what can end up happening is it will affect the rest of your life because you can end up with a craving for sweet things. If you are exhausting your energy by feeling stressed and anxious and fearful, these emotions need a lot of energy to keep going. So then you end up feeling that you need a quick burst of energy. And what is the best thing for that? Something sweet to push up so you get a sugar spike, as it's called. But of course, then you crash down afterwards because sugar doesn't maintain or support your energy. It just gives you a quick fix. So you can quickly get into a situation where you're making poor, bad food choices. The other thing that happens when you don't sleep well is your wound healing abilities decrease and your choice making abilities decrease as well. You end up making poor choices because you're not on top of your form. So you end up potentially having a bad diet that then leads to bad gut health, which we're also going to talk about how important that's become from the science perspective. There's some amazing cutting edge research that I was just listening to the last couple of days, which just blew my mind, but it shows how important feeding ourselves the right food actually is for our entire system, our entire health. So if you're making bad and poor food choices, that can lead to your gut health deteriorating. That then affects your brain. And research now shows that if you are not looking after your gut health, you actually can end up with your brain capacity shrinking, which is shocking new information.
Shocking and something I don't want to experience. Holy
exactly
cow.
Right. So all of this shows that it's so important to get your sleep routine into a healthy place. And this is what we want to talk about, how we can help you to do that. Julie? So
connected, right? Everything's connected. We are always taught to everything is in a separate bucket, but your sleep is very, very, very important. Now, I have always been, for over 20 years now, an insomniac. I've never been able to sleep. I'm the type of person that has a very busy mind. I am a night person by nature. So I am the most creative, the fastest, the best. I work out at night. Everything's at night. And when I lay down, a lot of times, last night being one of them, my mind just races. And Ildiko has been kind enough to offer me a cue, if you will, or a permission that will help the brain stop that, which we can get into if she'd like to. But I can tell you this, I always think of it as Ildiko was saying on the last podcast that we did, think of your cup. Your cup needs to be full, not just in energy and good thoughts, but also it ramps up with good sleep. Now imagine if you can think of a cup and think of it almost empty, there's hardly anything in it, And that cup needs to go out and do things. It needs to perform. It needs to make good decisions based for your family, for your business, spiritually, for your body. You're making decisions about your money, about purchasing things. That's really important. And right now, especially, a lot of us are just, really trying to learn new ways to survive and thrive in this new normal. So you need to be extra, extra excited and pumped up and have as much going on as possible in your brain. You need to be accessing everything, running on all cylinders is the way I always say it, right? Like a car. The only way you can do that is if your gas tank is full. And I know for me, Ildiko, if I have like 2 hours of sleep, 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep, not so good. I mean, I'm really tired. I'm really dragging. Things get foggy. I can't, everything doesn't seem clear, crystal clear. Whereas I've had sleep, things feel crystal clear. I can make decisions quickly. I can access a peak state very fast and stay there. And for someone like me who really needs to eat at certain times because I'm hypoglycemic, if I ignore that and let everything dip, that's not good for me, because then I do reach for the sugar. And then, and everything's connected. And cortisol is the worst thing you want, because it does put all your weight around your middle, which has been linked to diabetes. So absolutely. Sleep is connected and is so important. And by the way, if any of you are trying to lose weight, I didn't know this, but I found out sleep is connected to losing weight.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Because your body cannot recharge. If you are on a schedule for sleeping and sleep properly and get that REM sleep where you can rebound and rejuvenate your body, you will lose weight. But if you can't, your body's always hanging on to everything it can, because as Ildiko said, it's getting ready for that peak state of, oh my gosh, we got to run from the dinosaur, except there is no dinosaur.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, some of the research I was listening to yesterday, which again is really shocking, but we've got to start paying attention, is that the amount of weight you're carrying around your middle will affect your potential for developing Alzheimer's. That is the latest research now. So it's even more important to get the routine healthy. Sleep, eat, exercise, be joyful, because you want to get your cortisol levels dropping down, so that you don't end up in this detrimental cycle that can end up with some serious chronic illness. And of course, Alzheimer's is one of the most devastating modern diseases. Even people in their 30s are starting to get dementia. I mean, it's seriously scary how bad diet affects our health. So the message coming through is food is medicine, and we need to really pay attention to what's going on that level. But certainly with regards to sleep, it's important to get yourself into a sleep routine. I want to tell you about my experience with sleep deprivation, which happened a couple of years ago when I was living in a place that had an abundance of seagulls. Now, I don't know whether any of you live around seagulls, but if you do, and they're your next door neighbors, they are the neighbors from hell. They are beautiful on the beach. I love them on the beach, the way they glide, and they're so graceful. But when they are your next door neighbors, you just want to do something desperate, because what I was finding was that, unfortunately, what was happening is that I was living between two seagull feeders. In other words, people who are putting food out to attract the seagulls. Now, they are opportunists, and they will, take that food. Unfortunately, one of those people, an older lady, she was putting out dog meat. Which just, gross. The whole thing was just horrific. But I couldn't talk to her. She wasn't listening. And then down the end of the road, there was another couple who were feeding the seagulls. So I was caught in between. And I swear to you, for about 4 years, I hardly had any sleep. I mean, it affected me so badly, because The seagulls would be screeching even at midnight and then start screeching at 2 in the morning. So I had no sleep. It was appalling.
Oh.
I was ready to, you know, I'm a very peaceful person, but I was ready to kill somebody. Honestly, because when you don't have sleep, it actually ends up being painful. I was trying all sorts of things, you know, earbuds, and it just didn't work because that level of screeching was just cutting through. That piercing sound was cutting through. But I got to experience what it was like to end up with adrenal fatigue because I had such high cortisol levels, because I was so stressed. I wasn't getting the sleep. That was stressing me out. My diet was actually suffering as well. So I ended up in this really bad spiral. So I can tell you from personal experience, if you don't take care of your sleep patterns, you can really end up having a lot of problems, and it's just a horrible way of living. So yeah, it's just really, really important. So Julie, what are the routines that you can share with people that you suggest that they can do to get themselves into a good sleep routine despite what's happening obviously now?
Well, thank you for sharing that, Ildiko. And boy, I can't imagine living through something like that.
Hell. It was hell. Really.
So I used to live in the city and in Boston, and I used to be on a very busy street where there were always sirens and things like that. So I got very accustomed to using aids to sleep. But before I tell you a couple of them, I just wrote down because it's just occurred to me. They have been using sleep deprivation as a form of torture for a long time.
Oh, yes.
I just remembered that. So think about that for a minute. It's all connected, and that will make you, you know, they could give up information. Why? Because they were so damn tired they couldn't even think straight, basically. So for me, I have learned a couple of tricks, a couple of tips, which we can share with you, and we'll put up a list as well. We'll put a link for you.
Right.
One is, as we said, we don't want the cortisol around our middle anyways. We don't want diabetes. We don't want Alzheimer's. We want our brain to expand, not shrink. We want to be able to make good decisions. One thing I used to do is, because I stay up pretty late till 12 o'clock, doing a lot of channeling, I used to eat late. I used to eat at 9, have a snack at 10. That's not good for your body. You are supposed to eat no later than 7 o'clock is what I was told. Is that what you heard as well, Ildiko?
It's correct, yeah, because otherwise, after 7, you know, your stomach's still working on digesting stuff, and that's definitely not good for your sleep. No.
And another thing is and I've tested this myself a lot in the last couple of weeks. A lot of times I'll have all the lights out and I'll be working on my computer. So working at your computer with this light facing you while it's dark around you with having no other lights on is not good for your eyes. It can give me migraines. It will stop your sleep patterns. It will interrupt your sleep patterns. Do you have any research on that or any thoughts on that, Ildiko? Because I'd love to know what you think about that.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. You know, obviously there's a frequency coming from the light that is on your phone or your laptop. There are actually applications, and I use one which can alter the lights on the screen depending on what time of day it is. So it's a better light for your eyes, but it really is not good to be looking at information even late at night, because what will happen is your brain will keep buzzing and working on what you've just been reading or seeing. So I would suggest don't watch movies late at night, don't read late at night. Find yourself some sort of routine of maybe meditation or breathing or relaxation with yoga or just some stretch exercises, but taking your breath down. You know, we talked about breathing techniques before, but it's because the breath is linked to the mind. And so if you can slow your breathing down, then you can help your mind to relax down too. And the other thing is to maybe go for a walk around your garden if you've got a garden, or just go out for a bit of fresh air, because that will also help to oxygenate your system, and that will help to calm things down as well. So these are routines that you can implement for yourselves. These will definitely help. And the other thing that I've experimented with, I'm not doing it at the moment, but I'm thinking I'm going to start again within the next week or so, is fasting, intermittent fasting. So you can do it really easily. This is the way I do it, is I don't eat until 10 a.m. and then don't eat after 7. So not only don't eat after 7, don't eat until 10. And that actually gives you 16 hours of fasting in the most easy way, because unless you absolutely have to eat in the morning, if you can just make do with some liquid, then it actually cleans down your system, which of course helps your gut, helps your digestion, and helps with the sleep as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to try that. I haven't tried that yet, but I will. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, it does. It makes me feel good when I do it. I mean, when I do it, I also juice at the same time, juice vegetables and fruit, because I did a juicing course a few years back, just so I could understand what juicing was about. And I go through periods of time where I will actually start the day with a juice that is made up of things like apple, lemon, carrot, kale, maybe some pineapple, blueberries. So creating a juice which has got all of the nutrients that the body needs, but it also allows your stomach to take a rest, because the juice goes into the system, but the body doesn't have to go through peristalsis. So peristalsis is taking the food down the esophagus and into the stomach, and the whole process that the stomach has to go through to digest the food. If you're drinking a juice, it means the stomach doesn't have to work hard. So you get your nutrition, but you also give your stomach a break. And it's just really very healthy.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
One thing that I've done that Ildiko mentioned was meditating. I have some really high quality headphones, which can, you know, the outside noise just is blacked out. And I'll put that on with some really great astral music, I call it. So that really nice, relaxing, just to kind of bring everything down a level and reconnect. It just brings your whole body down. Taking those deep breaths, your body has no choice but to slow down. But another aid that I use is I need to have some white noise. So I have a fan going. I've also had a sound, you can buy sound machines that have the waves. A lot of people like the waves. It's very calming, very restful. Some people like trains, but you can buy them. And I've also, putting in your earbuds is a little tough if you toss and turn quite a bit, which I do. That's another option. But having a room that's completely dark. This for me is a must, because I used to get migraines so frequently and I'm so sensitive to light. I had to have blackout. You can buy blackout curtains. And I know this sounds very simple, but you'd be surprised how many people don't think of this or don't know about it. But having a room that's completely dark will enable your body to help bring you down into that deeper sleep. So that helps as well.
Very true, very true. Yeah, it is absolutely important to be in total darkness, because of course the eyes, even through the eyelids, will pick up on light. So, you know, it's just another way to help ourselves to get that good quality of sleep. Just like you, I used to suffer from migraines all the time. I get stomach migraines, so I would feel sick, nauseous, as well as having the appalling headache.
So bad.
And I couldn't be anywhere near light. It would hurt me. So like you, I had to not only be in a darkened room, but I would normally actually put something over my eyes as well.
Me too.
To stop any kind of light getting through. And I couldn't even move, because if I moved, I would feel sick. So yeah, migraines are just appallingly bad things. And they are also quite often linked to stress.
Yes.
So, you know, there are quite a lot of symptoms that are unexpected, that are created by being stressed all the time. So it's really important to do whatever we can to reduce the stressors that we actually have control over within our lives as much as possible.
Yes, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to say that I would lose a day in my life, and I lost quite a few of them because I'd lay in a dark room, not able to move, you can't even eat, you can't sleep. You're just lying there with a towel over your eyes. Anything, any light, any noise, it has to be completely silent, completely dark. You don't want that. These things are ugly. And a lot of it was from stress subconsciously. And it can be with anything. It can be any type of stress. It can be family related. It can be money related. It can be career related. It can be anything. So having some aids and we always talk about spiritual rituals, right? To get you in the right place, to a place of being open and receiving and ready to serve. I always want to cleanse the space. These are just the same thing. Sleep rituals are so important to ramp down. Now, some of you might be lucky enough to just go to sleep anywhere. And if you are, wonderful, wonderful. I am not that person. I need to put some of these things in place. If I don't have a fan or I don't have some noise, I'm up like this, like I'm up. So, but whatever it takes. And a dark room helps, meditation helps. And of course, when you breathe in deeply, your body has to slow down.
That's
it has no other choice. And so to meditate and, you know, either however what works for you, go out. If it's nice, you can go outside and sit outside. We were talking about last night, Venus was out with the moon, and I love that. And just going outside and looking at the stars. I know it sounds so simple, but it really helps you with the connectedness and the power of just bringing yourself down into a level where you're ready to sleep. Instead of watching TV where that light's coming at you, or you're looking at your phone and that light's really just kind of hurting your eyes, just getting you prepared to sleep and making it easy for you. But it's all about good sleep and having your cup be full so you can make good decisions and smart decisions for yourself.
Definitely right, Julie. Absolutely. One of the other things that is coming to mind is switch off your router at night.
Your what?
The router.
Oh, the router.
For your computer, your Wi-Fi. I switch mine off every night.
Why is that?
Because it's producing EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, which, especially if your router is in your bedroom, that's the worst thing, because you are being bathed by these frequencies and they are not good for our health. So I want to take the moment here to just share another piece of advice. Is I know a lot of ladies put their phones in their bra or their pocket, you know, and carry them around. But what you're doing is getting bathed in these frequencies. And there's now more and more research showing that it's detrimental to our cell health, the cells in our body I'm talking about. So if you are carrying your phone, switch it onto airplane mode. Okay, that's really important. But at night, switch off your router. Have a Wi-Fi free zone, because that's another thing that can affect your sleep. Because if you're super sensitive, like a lot of people are, the EMF will be affecting you, the cells of your body, and also your brain. So it's just very important to get into a routine of being Wi-Fi free.
What about if it's in another room? So I don't sleep in the room I work in, and so I'm in another room. Is it okay if it stays on if I'm in another room, or?
Well, I mean, it's still going to be affecting you because it's in the house. So the best thing to do is just, I mean, certainly for me personally, I've been disconnecting switching my router off now for probably the last 3-4 years. And honestly, there's a difference in the quality of energy around me. Yeah, definitely.
Now, what about your phones? Because I have to always have my phone by my bed. I turn it upside down, right? So the light's not showing, because I always have an alarm on. Are you saying so I can't really shut it off because I need that alarm? I don't have an alarm clock. This is my alarm. Are you saying we should, if we put those in airplane mode, will that alarm still show? Is that the best we can do if you can't shut it off?
I would actually, my advice would be just to get an old-fashioned alarm clock and
Really?
switch the phone off completely. Absolutely, because it shouldn't be near your head at all. There's, the mobile companies are not really keen on sharing the research that's coming out, and there's a lot that's been probably even suppressed. I don't know. I won't go down that conversation route, but I've read an awful lot of research which shows that the EMFs are actually damaging our health on many different levels. So can I back that up? I know people out there will probably be asking, where's the research? I can certainly share the research that I have come across. There's a book called, what is it called? The Non-Tinfoil Solution to EMFs, written by a Canadian journalist a few years ago. And his research just really blew my mind as to what these frequencies are actually doing. So I on the side of caution, and I do know that things like smart meters definitely have affected me. I lived next door to somebody who had a smart meter on the wall. You have smart meters there?
Are you talking about for the cars?
No, these are the ones that are the utility.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So living next door to one, I can honestly tell you I could feel it, and it was affecting me. And I had to move in the end because they would not take it away from the wall. So I sold up and moved because I couldn't stand it anymore. Not just the seagulls, that was one thing, but the smart meter was the other thing. And after I moved, I noticed the difference immediately. So
I've
be
heard
aware.
of that.
You need to become energy aware. This is a whole other topic area, but I'm absolutely passionate on teaching you to become energy aware, because if you don't know what you've got in your environment, you can't do anything about it, and you can't protect yourself against the effects.
Yes, and we should talk about this in full at another level, and we will. I have read some of the work that's been put out there, and these little guys, which are our lifeline, are not good for us. They're at our heads all the time, and I think they're doing a lot of I'm sure there's a brain link there, which we will get into that on another show. That's a whole big topic. But I have read that shutting these off is the best thing you can do. Maybe I'll just have to go get a cheapy alarm clock. I don't even know if they make those anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody's just got phones.
Go retro. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. My husband's always saying, "You're so retro." I'm like, "I'm so retro."
You go.
I'm still in the 80s, my friend. I'm still in the 80s.
They used to have alarm clocks, I believe, in the 80s. So
there you
should
go.
be able to buy something on eBay or.
There you go. Amazon, right? Amazon.
There you go. Amazon does everything. Yeah. Retroville.
It's so funny. It's so funny because Ildiko and I were talking before about how a lot of in spiritual, a lot of the older, like the shamanic and all of the quite a bit older, going back to down our lineage. A lot of these practices are coming back. So this is just another one, and
that's right.
And it's good old fashioned stuff, and it works. Sometimes the newfangled stuff isn't, but if you think about it, on these phones they have your screen time, and I don't think I pick my phone up that much, and it'll say I've been on this thing 5 hours. Well, I'll tell you what though, I have to say, just to back that up, I'm not on my phone. When I go outside and I channel, I listen to my music with my headphones through this. So that's a good 2 hours right there. But still, that's way too much. So if it's near your head, that's not good. So what we're going to do is we'll put up a list, Ildiko and I, we're going to link it below that you can access, and it will have our top tips that we've discussed today. And I'd really encourage you, as Ildiko was saying, to get into a sleep routine, put something in place, put some rituals in place for yourself. They don't have to be hard, make it easy, and whatever works for you, leave the rest. Just pick out something that works for you or a couple of things and start working with them and see if you notice a difference. I can tell you that by not eating late, I have noticed a difference, not only in my weight dropping, which is wonderful, but my energy level increasing. My body doesn't have to work so hard at night. And so if your gut's not working hard, obviously that's a good thing. And I'll tell you one other thing, drinking a lot of water. And I'm not a water girl, but I have started to drink a ton of water. And as we said, we're more than 80% water. So flowing and flushing with energy, that's a great thing to do. All helpful for bed.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one thing I just want to circle back to regarding this device here and the headphone usage. Get an air tube headphone. I've got one of these here, and what it does is it actually blocks the EMF coming from your phone. So it is actually much more healthy to use one of these air tube headphones. We can put the links to that too with our top tips when we put that together. But I researched this a couple of years ago, and I bought one specifically.
Oh, really? I've never heard of that. It's an air tube. Is that what you're saying?
Air tube. Yeah, air tube. It doesn't.
Never heard of that before.
It's because it doesn't have any metal parts, because metal is a conductor. So because of that, it seemingly it blocks or shuts off the EMF coming up into your head.
Oh wow! Yeah. I'll have to get one of those. All right. Well, we'll put all the links below.
Yep. Yeah.
And we hope this has been helpful for you. I would encourage you to get as much sleep as you possibly can. And again, everyone's different. Some people can run on 5 hours of sleep and feel terrific. Some people like me need a good 7 hours, sometimes 8 hours. And listen to your body. Honor your body, right? This whole time we've been talking about being in lockdown. This is an opportunity for you to start listening to your thoughts, listen to your body, and stop ignoring it. Start honoring it, especially if you have, if you're susceptible to migraines or sleep deprivation, because you know what, if you don't know, migraines are also related to sleep deprivation. The less sleep you have, the greater the chance you'll have a migraine. So you don't want that. There's a lot of science behind this. We're not just spouting this stuff off. So I would encourage you to really get into a routine where you're honoring your body. In other words, as I was saying to Ildiko yesterday, I didn't feel like doing anything. I just stayed outside and got some rays. At night, if you need, to go to bed early, if you go to bed at 9, you feel like go to bed at 7, go to bed at 7.
Yeah.
But please get good sleep, because it will help you make good decisions and you'll feel so much better and stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. It's vitally important. And hopefully what we've shared with you today will help you to get into a good sleep pattern if you're not in a good sleep pattern, and also give you the reason why, show you the importance of why good sleep is vitally important.
Yes. So we will have a link below to our top tips that we've discussed today, and we'll have a link to the air tube headphones. Okay.
Air tube headphones. Yeah.
We'll look into that. So thank you all for being here. We love you all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell everybody about us. We love to help as many people as we can. Yeah. And also don't forget to send us your comments, your feedback, your thoughts. We'd love to hear back from you.
Yeah, we please do. We're doing this for you. We love chatting, don't we? From the UK to the US, we love this. But ultimately, the topics that we're talking about and picking are for your benefit, and hopefully you will find them useful listening to our episodes. So please do share your comments, your questions, so that we can tailor future episodes to fit in with your lives and what you need from us.
Yes.
So, we're very grateful to have you on these episodes listening to us.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We look forward to your comments and your thoughts, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, Ildiko.
Thank you, Julie. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. We would like to take your hand and step into this year in a different, empowered way that no one is discussing. We invite you to come with us on this journey to show you a different way of being, to get to the deep truth of things, instead of having another year of ups and downs with the same patterns. In essence, we are going to help set you up for success.
We have a smart 2-part experience just for the listeners. And the SMART experience is an acronym for the S is for simplicity, the M is for motivation, the A is for action, the R is for reconnection, and the T is for transformation. And we are offering an expansive experience first with Ildiko, who will remove blockages with energy, and then Julie, who will introduce the light language to infuse you with light, clarity, and positive purpose. So this is a large transformation in not only how you'll feel energetically, but also how you will experience and view the world and opportunities that are open to you. And this will be a session with each of us individually. If you'd like more information, please click the link, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast.